what is up? Zan here. So today we're at Changi Airport Terminal 2 to take Singapore Airlines SQ134 to Penang. We're gonna try out the new 737 MAX business class, and we'll be in the throne seat. So let's see how that goes.
Singapore Airlines flights to Southeast Asian destinations depart from Changi Airport Terminal 2, which has recently reopened after a 2-year revamp during the pandemic. The interior now sports a modern aesthetic and color palette. Wood grain encased columns have been reskinned with a titanium finish, and carpets now line the floor area around the check-in counters.
So I've just checked in. Basically it was my turn right away. I mean, it is very early in the morning, so I'm gonna head in to check out the SilverKris Lounge now. And with that, I'm through immigration and on the way to the lounge.
The SilverKris Lounge at Terminal 2 is located quite a distance away. After clearing immigration, turn left and follow the signs towards the lounge. The lounge remained closed during the pandemic and only recently reopened due to the increase in passengers and overcrowding at the Terminal 3 lounges. Turn left towards the business class section. The lounge is mainly divided into two areas, the main seating and dining areas. Unlike the Terminal 3 lounge, there are no made-to-order counters, and all food and beverages can be found at the self-serve buffet. The food quality wasn't anything special, so I wouldn't suggest stuffing yourself here. The main seating area is comprised of armchairs, which are not very conducive for dining. Unlike the Terminal 3 lounges, Singapore Airlines lounges in Terminal 2 have not been renovated in a while, and this explains their dark and dated interiors.
So that's about all there is to the T2 Terminal 2 SilverKris Lounge. Let's head on to Terminal 3.
As Terminal 2 was only partially reopened at the time, there were only monorail services between Terminal 2 and 3. The monorail travelling between Terminal 1 and 2 was suspended indefinitely. Despite the hassle, I strongly recommend business class travellers on Singapore Airlines or Star Alliance carriers visit the renovated Terminal 3 SilverKris Lounge for a much better experience. The lounge decor features plenty of wood and bronze finishes, varied seating options, and in general more space for guests. Food was largely the same as Terminal 2 with the exception of made-to-order food stations. I'll cover the Terminal 3 lounge in depth in a future video. For now, let's head back to Terminal 2 and board our flight to Penang. Our flight today is SQ134 departing at 10 AM and operated by a Boeing 737 MAX. Singapore Airlines took on these aircraft from Silk Air after they merged. The 737 is the first narrow-body single-aisle jet that Singapore Airlines has operated in decades, the last being the Boeing 757 in 1990. We headed to the gate early to see if we could board the plane ahead of the other passengers, so I could capture footage of an empty plane. We kindly asked the staff, who told us to wait by the doors, but she couldn't promise anything. As minutes ticked by, with boarding time fast approaching, my hopes were dimming. Just then, she gestured towards us and we were given a precious 5 minutes.
Went down the wrong aero bridge. Yeah. Right, 737 only has one door at the front.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. 12.
After that little snafu, we were shown our seats by the lovely flight attendant. There are 10 business class seats on Singapore Airlines 737 MAX. These seats were unveiled in 2021 and is unique to the 737 MAX. These seats measure up to 22 inches in width, 44 inches in pitch, or the distance between headrests, and reclines into a 76-inch fully flat bed. They are laid out in 3 rows. The first and last rows are in a 2-2 configuration, while the middle rows feature the coveted throne seats in a 1-1 configuration. These seats offer the greatest privacy and personal space. Singapore Airlines has restored hard copy menus in first and business class, a change that would please most travellers in those cabins. Going over some of the features of the seat, the right console sports a convenient universal power outlet and USB charging port. The left console houses a large storage compartment. headphone holder, audio jack, another USB charging port, and an adjustable reading light. The left console surface has a cup holder, as well as seat and lighting controls. The leather armrest flips up to reveal the entertainment screen remote. Beneath the screen is a pull-down storage net for loose items. Below the right console is another storage compartment, life jacket, and another compartment for your shoes. For entertainment, there is a 16-inch high-definition touchscreen, featuring a wide selection of movies and TV shows on Kris World, Singapore Airlines in-flight entertainment program. Above the seats are adjustable air vents, offering more granular climate control. As we push back from the gate, a commentary on narrow-body aircraft. I can understand why Singapore Airlines was hesitant to reintroduce narrow-body aircraft after more than 3 decades. With all passengers sharing the same entrance and aisle, boarding will be much slower than wide bodies, which typically board from 2 doors and 2 aisles. It is also easy to feel more cramped given the narrower cabin fuselage, and despite the molded ceiling to increase headroom, someone reaching to access their bags in the overhead bins is almost inevitably going to eat into the space of the passenger in the aisle seat. That's it, I believe it made sense to merge SilkAir with the stronger Singapore Airlines brand. For most flights departing Changi Airport these days, the taxi to the runway has become a long journey. While Changi Airport added a 3rd runway, they closed the runway closest to Terminal 2. Hence, departing aircraft have to taxi to the new runway at the far end of the airport. All this in preparation for the new Terminal 5 complex, set to open by 2030. In the meantime, we have to sit back and try and enjoy the ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelt and draw up your window shades. Passengers at the overwing exits, please ensure your window shades are open. Thank you.
As it was a short 1-hour flight, as soon as the seatbelt signs went off, the crew began serving our meals. The tray table slides out from the side console with the push of a button. To simplify the meal service, there were only 2 options: pan-fried salmon or Singapore chicken rice. Book-to-cook pre-order meals were not available, and passengers with special dietary needs will have to make them known through the app or website before the flight. The food was incredible for such a short flight, served on porcelain and champagne served in glassware. The crew came around with a bread basket, and naturally I picked the crowd pleaser, garlic bread. The appetizer was crab meat salad with Japanese omelette and pickles. Crab meat flakes mixed with sesame mayo and shredded vegetables. I thoroughly enjoyed this dish, so much so that the main course tasted bland by comparison. Pan-seared salmon with roasted farro and fennel. The salmon was a tad dry and I left most of the farro untouched. Just as I finished the meal, the captain came on the PA and announced we had begun our descent to Penang. One of the upgrades of the 737 MAX business class seat from the older SilkAir 737s is the ability to transform into a fully flat bed. Simply hold down the recline button. Lastly, I decided to check out the lavatory, one of only 3 on board. It was quite small and nothing unique. I tried my luck asking for an amenity kit, and to my surprise and delight, they had them on board. Amenity kits are not often provided or even stocked on short flights like these, but there's no harm in asking. Inside, you'll find a facial mist, hand lotion, and lip balm. Naturally, I did not pay full price for the tickets, or this 1-hour flight would have cost between 600 to 900 Singapore dollars. Instead, I used the now discontinued hack, where I booked 2 flights or sectors as a single booking and added a stopover in Singapore. Adding the stopover costs only $100 and the stopover duration can be up to 1 year. Hence, this flight was actually a continuation of my flight back from Mumbai, and I paid $100 plus tax, or roughly 200 Singapore dollars for this flight segment. Booking 2 flights as a single booking costs less than booking 2 separate flights, and you can still do so today. For example, a flight from London to Bali with a transit in Singapore will cost you the same number of miles as a flight from London to Singapore. However, the option to add a stopover in Singapore has been effectively removed, so residents of Singapore won't benefit from the stopover. It would have been nice to see Singapore Airlines take a balanced approach and keep the $100 stopover, but limiting the stopover duration to 1 month instead of 1 year. Alas, it is unlikely that this policy will be revised for the better once the axe has fallen. If you enjoyed this video, why not drop a like and subscribe to stay tuned to more travel content. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.